The Holocaust was a major part of history, and this is a very strong family. This is the Frank family, and this is Otto Frank, Edith Frank, Anne Frank, and Margaret Frank. They were a Jewish family who lived in Frankfurt, Germany, and after Hitler became dictator, the Jews were shunned, and the Frank family moved to the Netherlands to try to flee the anti-Jewish ways. Anne Frank was born on June 12th of 1929. She grew up like all kids. She loved going to school. She loved to read. She loved all kinds of things. After the German army invaded the Netherlands in May of 1940, everything changed for the Frank family. Anne and her sister Margaret were forced to transfer to a Jewish school which was segregated. Otto had a chemical company, and he managed to keep control of it and by assigning ownership to his partner. On Anne's 13th birthday, she received this journal, which would become how we would know everything about her and what she went through during the Holocaust. They were forced into hiding on July 12th, just a few weeks after Anne received her diary. Margaret, Anne's sister, received an official summons by the German army, and the very next day they went into hiding. The secret annex was located in Anne's father's business. It's up here in the top of this building. They were accompanied by his partner Van Pels and Van Pels' wife and son, along with another friend, Fritz Pfeiffer, which was the dentist. Otto's employees helped him and brought them food and kept them updated about the outside world. I don't know how good you can see this, but this was a secret bookcase that was where the family hid at, and they would just close it and no one would ever see. This is where Anne stayed at. This is the desk that she wrote at and studied books and read. And she also shared a room with the dentist, which I thought was very strange. They were in hiding for 2 years. To pass the time, Anne would write in her journal about what was going on in her life. She also often wrote how she felt very hopeless in her journal entries, but then it was a way for her to relieve stress and talk about things that she was going through. She also wrote short stories. They were captured on August 4th of 1944, and they were betrayed by someone, but to this day no one knows who turned them in or anything. They were all shipped to Westport, and since they didn't come when Margaret was summoned, then they were put into the punishment barracks. About 1 month later, they were transferred to Auschwitz and in Poland, and they were separated, and this would be the last time that Otto would see his family. They were separated, some women and men. After several months, Anne and Margaret were transferred to Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, and Edith wasn't allowed to go, and she later died on January 6th of 1945. Anne and Margaret both came ill with typhus, which is a bacteria transferred by fleas and mice, and Anne was only 15 when she passed away. Otto Frank was the only one from the secret annex to survive. He returned home and received the news of his death of the family, and that's when he discovered Anne's diary. The diary was filled with beautiful entries from Anne, and this was a very unique quote. I'll read it to you. It says, "I see the world being slowly transformed into a wilderness. I hear the approaching thunder that one day will destroy us too. I feel the suffering of millions, and yet when I look up, at the sky. I somehow feel that everything will change for the better, that as cruelty too shall end, and that peace tranquility will return once more.